Salutations and good morrow everyone, and welcome back to another Grounded Update video where today we are going to be talking about all of the weapons that are currently in 4.3, the most recent update that's come out to date. What I've done is I've started a new creative game, unlocked all the recipes in the game, and unlocked everything to make sure I can go through and talk to you guys about everything that's in the game so far. But this is going to be a three-part series of me going through all the different weapons because I've kind of grouped them together by types, right? So I thought that this would be the best way for me to go through and explain everything in the game to you guys. That way you guys understand how to build things, what's going to be the best, and how to use it the most resourcefully inside of the game of Grounded, especially with all the new updates that are coming. So please ignore all the things that are being analyzed up there because there's going to be a lot of stuff because I unlocked everything. Okay, so let's hop in and let's talk about some of the first items that I have here. And the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is axes. Okay, so the Pebblet axe is one of the most versatile tools that is super important in the beginning of the game. For it, you need it in order to progress the story, and also it's a pretty darn good weapon to start the game with. It's very easy to get. All you have to do is research a Pebblet and you will be able to make the Pebblet axe. Very easy to make whenever you're actually going into craft. Pebblet axes are 3 sprigs, 2 pebblets, and 1 crude rope. And it is a basic chopping tool strong enough to knock into plant material, but the thing is, guys, is that it is the beginning of your journey in Grounded. That's why it's such an important weapon, and that's why I decided to start with axes. Because it literally does embody the beginning of the game, everything that you need, how to start fighting in the beginning of the game. The axe is your perfect weapon. You guys can use that for pretty much anything in the game, starting with the axe. I mean, you have to cut down branches, you have to cut down trees, you got to do all that stuff to start building your base. Heck, you can't even make a workbench without an axe. So, well, technically, yes, Sim, you could go and you could get into the water and make yourself a diving dagger. I get it. Yes, you're right. But trust me, axes are the way to go. It's super important to get them, and trust me when I say just make yourself an axe in the beginning. But let's talk about the upgraded axe. The upgraded axe is almost twice as strong for damage as an axe made of sharp and strong bug parts, sturdier than more durable than a Pebblet axe, but it is just an axe, none the same. But what I will say about this axe is this axe not really needed anymore, unless you get one perk. If you guys get the chopping perk, right? So if you come over here, they have a nice axe perk now, right? So it's chopper. A fury of bloodlust pump through your artilleries, yes, your artilleries, fueling an efficient flow to happing and chalking. Wow, good job speaking there, Sim. Axe are extension of your angry little body, aka you become a master of using axes, and it increases the damage that your axes do by 40%. So really, it does make it so your axes do more damage against bugs, not against environmental items, but against bugs in the game. So it makes it more versatile. Okay, so axes, yes, they're really good. But the reason why I say, you don't really need them anymore is because technically the Spider Fang Dagger 2 can be considered an axe as well. The damage is a little bit less, but you could swing it a heck of a lot more. So it's better just to use a Spider Fang Dagger when you're trying to cut things down. But we'll talk about Spider Fang Dagger more in a second. Let's talk about Pebblet Daggers, one of the newer weapons that were added to the game, and a handy tool for harvesting aquatic flora. That's why I wanted to talk about these ones next before we hop into some of the old school stuff in the game as well. So the Pebblet Dagger, right, it's easy to make, okay? It's super easy to make. Whenever you're coming in here, you don't need a workbench in order to craft it, and it's down at the bottom right here. It takes 2 pebblets, some crude rope, and lily pad wax, and a lily pad wax is one of the easiest things in the pond to get. You literally jump down underneath a lily pad and there it is. There's normally 3 to 5 of them underneath every lily pad. So just go under there and grab a couple of them and make yourself up a Pebblet Dagger. They're super handy, and it's one of the only weapons you can swing underwater. You can swing spears, daggers, and a shovel underwater. That's it. You can't really do anything else. So these are super handy, especially when you're going to start taking on some of the bugs that are underwater. These are handy, especially you also need one of these for harvesting eelgrass. So super handy. Get yourself a Pebblet Dagger. There is an updated version of the Pebblet Dagger called the Bone Dagger. That's a diving knife made more robust materials for increased tool effectiveness. But what I'll say is this is kind of a moot point. This is kind of like a prestige item. There's not really a need for it. You make it just to make it, but there's not really a need for it. Yes, the damage is higher. It's almost double, and it also has some stun to it. But let's face it, guys, you don't really need it because will you really be fighting with a Bone Dagger underwater? No, you won't. So not really needed. But we'll talk about a dagger that is nice that you can get, is the Spider Fang dagger. Now, the Spider Fang dagger is a nimble dagger made of a wolf spider fang that's poisonous on hit. This is correct, and the damage is almost equal to that of the tier 2 axe, but it also gives off poison, and you can swing it a heck of a lot more, which is why I said it's a more versatile chopping weapon when it comes to taking out grass and weed stems, which is why I said you don't really need the tier 2 axe. The tier 2 axe is good for sturdy weeds, but you don't really need it. So that's why I say the Spider Fang dagger. The Spider Fang dagger is not difficult to make. You need a workbench in order to make it, but you do need to be able to kill a spider, a wolf spider, in order to get it. Some silk rope and some spider venom. Now, you do get spider venom from killing spiderlings, so you do not need to kill a crap load of wolf spiders in order to get it, but you do need silk rope, which you also get from killing spiderlings because you need your spinner in order to make that. So this is a little bit more of a deadly weapon that's a little bit harder to make as well, but it is a good versatile weapon that is good for not only using tracking down trees or grass, I guess, in this game, and weed stems, but also good for fighting as well because it does poison on hit everything except for spiders themselves. All right, so going on to one of our next weapons in the game is the lava blade. Now, yes, I'm talking about just the standard lava blade that you make, but there is actually a lava blade in the game that you can go get from right around this area right here. There's actually a rotten lava blade over there looking like Excalibur sticking out of a stone that you can go and get. It's not as effective as your standard larva blade, but it is free, and it's a good weapon to go and grab right away in the beginning of the game if you're looking for something to help protect yourself with. But this larva blade, the damage is not as high as the Spider Fang dagger. It's only a little bit less. The speed is still there, and the stun is low as well, so you're not really going to be stunning anything with this, which is why it's good for speed builds. And it also does poison, but it does not poison as much as the actual Spider Fang dagger. So keep that in mind when you're using this weapon, that it's not going to apply poison as much as, say, either the poison arrows or the Spider Fang dagger in that. But in order to craft this guy, it's not the most difficult thing in the world. Larvae are really easy to kill, but the grubs are where things become kind of a pain in the nuts. So grubs, you have to dig them out of the ground, which means you need to make a shovel, which we're not going to talk about in this video. We're talking about in the next one. But you need shovels in order to get grubs out of the ground. But it is a swift blade crafted from separated larva pincers, or serrated larva pincers. It's pretty good. It's their first attempt at a sword. There is another sword coming to the game called the mosquito rapier. We'll talk about that a little bit later on as well. But we're going to be talking about the larva blade right now. Grub hides annoying acid glands. You get those from killing soldier ants. They're not that difficult to kill as long as you block. But with all of these weapons I've currently shown you, you shouldn't be able to have any problems taking out anything else in the game using all of these weapons. They should be able to do it for you. There are some more powerful weapons, but if you get the proper skills and perks that go with all of these, including the assassin skill, which I wanted to talk to you guys about really quick. I believe it's this one right here. Yes, assassin small blades blur in your hands as you swing them with absolute precision. Daggers are your weapon of choice and ensure your foes die swiftly. Meaning there's 3 phases of it. Goes all the way up to 40% more damage with your daggers. Fantastic skill to have. Always recommend that you guys get this one and go use these skills to your advantage. Now, there is one other weapon that I wanted to talk to you guys about that falls into this esque when it comes to sword-like weapons, and that is the Dragonfly Slayer. And for that, I need to load another game. Okay, guys, so here we are in my current save that I normally play for you guys whenever I'm streaming live, and I wanted to talk to you guys about what was the most powerful weapon in the game, and it's now been super nerfed until its full release. Yes, I am talking about the Dragonfly Slayer. So let's open that up right now. This is the Dragonfly Slayer. I'm going to get it equipped for you guys right now. It says, it is far too big to be called a sword, massive, thick, heavy, and far too true. It requires a large amount of guts in order to wield this in a battle. Its speed is pretty low, and its stun and damage used to be all the way full. It is the only tier 4 weapon in the game right now, but you need to spawn it in. You can't actually build this guy yet. What it's going to take in order to craft it, if I remember correctly, I have it right here. The Dragonfly Slayer is steel gum and a bee stinger. So not until we get bees in the game do I think the Dragonfly Slayer is going to be brought into the game. You do need a workbench in order to make it, and it is a super powerful weapon that takes a lot of guts to swing. When they say that, here it is pulled out right here. It is really slow, and it uses all of your stamina on swing. You have one swing with it. That's it. You get one swing with it. But what I will say is this thing used to two-shot wolf spiders. You'd hit them twice and they were dead. But since it's been nerfed, there's no really use for it right now. But it is a fantastic weapon, and I cannot wait to see it brought to more use in the game in the future. But that is all of the weapons that I want to go over today, guys. The axes, the daggers, and also the spider fang dagger and the lava blade, including the Dragonfly Slayer. This is technically a sword weapon in the game I wanted to talk to you guys about and bring you guys more information on. So I hope you guys liked this video. If you guys did, please leave me a comment down below of what your favorite weapon that I showed off today was and why it's your favorite weapon. Leave me a like or a dislike depending on whether you guys like the video or not. It lets me know what you guys are enjoying. But I ask if you do dislike, please let me know why you dislike down in the comments. You guys make sure you subscribe today, turn that bell notification to all, and also for 99 cents you guys can click that join button and become a member of this awesome channel. And as always, I will see all of you guys in the next one.